Hello FGM's Transtastic. My name is Stephen. I am 33 and I live in London, England. I'm with you this week because I bought a calendar perk as part of the funding for the Trans Calendar project. And as a result, I get to pick this week's topic for discussion and also make a video which will be on FGM's Transtastic, which is what you're watching now. So the topic that I've picked this week comes out of my own personal experience, and as a result, it's not the easiest story to tell. I've tried a number of ways of putting this video together, and I think just a straightforward and try not to cut more than I have to is probably the best way to approach it. I will say that I am worried that this might be a bit triggering for some people. So if you're having a rough week, you might want to leave this for now and then come back to it later. So 9 or 10 years ago, I was 23. At the time, I probably thought that I was pretty cool, alternative, and a bit of an outsider, and there probably wasn't any situation that I would have run away from. Of my whole peer group, I probably would have thought that I was the one most likely just to grab everything by the horns and just go for it. So I'm at Pride in London with friends. We're all having a great time, laughing, joking, having fun, and I meet a guy called Robin on the street. We start chatting and flirting quite outrageously. I'm having a really nice time, and we're chatting and carrying on so much that we both lose our friends that we're there with. So we decide, rather than getting in touch with them, we'll go on an adventure, and we wander around in central London for a while, and then end up in a pub. By which point, probably 4 or 5 hours have passed, and flirtiness has turned into kissiness, and it's obvious that we're both really into each other. It's at this point that Robin decides to tell me that he's trans. And given what I'd said I was like, or thought I was like at the age of 23, the way that I actually acted was in complete contradiction to how I actually thought I was. I really brutally made excuses and left. In such a way that it would have been obvious to Robin that the reason why I'd done that was because he just told me that he was trans, and it was. It's one of the most shameful things that I've ever done in my life. Definition of shame, as I'm using it here, is definitely from the dictionary definition, which I've got. Which is a painful emotion caused by a strong sense of guilt, embarrassment, unworthiness, or disgrace. One that brings dishonour or disgrace, a great disappointment. And that's totally the way that I felt pretty much straight away. I knew that what I'd done was going to have caused hurt. And obviously, through engaging with communities like the one here and others on YouTube, I know that what I caused was a lot of damage, and I'll never know the extent of that because I've never encountered Robin again since. I don't know where he is or what he's doing. I've got no idea whether he's actually still in London or not. I don't really believe in regret, because to me, if you regret something, you act on it. I'm a librarian now, but I've always, if I've not been happy with something, turned straight to books, and that's what I did in this instance. So within a few days of this happening, I knew what I did was unbelievably insensitive, I started reading books, articles, anything I could really, which um, got me into an ongoing and still today um, interest in queer theory, queer culture, um, um, gender variance, anything really. The entire queer canon has become something which I absolutely have immersed myself in. So in this instance, I would say that my experience of shame, the shame that I have in myself for the way that I acted and the way that I treated Robin, has been sort of transformative for me as a person, because the way that I relate to my sexuality and who I am, and the discussions that I have with people now about my sexuality and who I am, has been completely changed by that experience, by that encounter with Robin. If someone was to ask me how I identified now, I would tell them that I was queer. And part of the reason why I do that is because when somebody says that to you, you kind of have to ask questions, because there is no definition of what queer is, I suppose, or a crystalline version of it. And I found that really useful in the workplace. So that experience of shame 10 years ago has led to me completely reevaluating the way that I am and the way that I communicate who I am with people. So this week's topic is shame. That's what I've picked. I'm not expecting everybody to talk about a shameful thing that they've done, because shame can be more than that. Shame can be more than something that you've done. Shame can be something that you point out in someone else. So there's the expression "shame on you," which some of you might be thinking about me now. Shame on you, justifiably so. So I'm thinking of people like Matilda Sycamore Bernstein, who in the 1990s had a group called Gay Shame. Gay Shame highlighted shame within the gay community in San Francisco around the time of Pride marches and Pride parades. So where members of the gay community had bought real estate, and when gay youth facilities, gay youth projects or housing projects were trying to open up in the same area, would oppose plans for that, would reject proposals for that to happen in their neighborhood. Gay people investing in property in San Francisco, and increasing the rents for residents in the property, many of them members of their own community, and some of them actually suffering from HIV or AIDS. On various YouTube channels, I've heard the person who's been rejected story, but not necessarily the person who has done the rejecting. So I hope, if anything, this adds a different layer or another side to that topic or conversation. It's not a topic or a discussion that I've really heard a lot on YouTube, so I hope it adds something interesting to the conversation that you're all having on FTM. Thank you for the opportunity for appearing on your channel. I will float around and answer any questions that I can in the comment section during the course of the week. So thank you very much. Take care.